The Dano-Swedish War of 1658, also known as the Second Northern War, was a continuation of the conflict between Denmark and Sweden that began the previous year. The war was sparked by a dispute over control of the strategically important Danish province of Holstein, which both Denmark and Sweden claimed as their own. The conflict began in May 1658, when the Swedish army, led by King Charles X Gustav, invaded Holstein. The Danish army, under the command of King Frederick III, was initially caught off guard and suffered several early defeats. However, the Danes were able to regroup and mount a counteroffensive, pushing the Swedes back and recapturing much of the territory they had lost. One of the key battles of the war was the Battle of the Sound, which took place in November 1658. The Danish navy, under the command of Admiral Niels Juel, succeeded in breaking through the Swedish blockade of the Øresund, a narrow strait between Denmark and Sweden. This allowed the Danes to reinforce their armies in southern Sweden and mount a successful invasion of the country. The war ended in February 1660 with the Treaty of Roskilde. The treaty was largely favorable to Sweden, as it secured their control of several key territories, including Scania, Blekinge, and Halland. Denmark, on the other hand, was forced to cede control of these territories, as well as the island of Bornholm and the Norwegian province of Trondheim. The Dano-Swedish War of 1658 had significant consequences for both Denmark and Sweden. For Denmark, the loss of Scania was a major blow to their economy and military power. It also marked the end of Denmark's attempts to establish itself as the dominant power in the Baltic region. Sweden, on the other hand, emerged from the war as a major power in Northern Europe, with control over much of the Baltic coast. The war also had broader implications for Europe as a whole. It demonstrated the growing importance of naval power in warfare, as the Battle of the Sound was one of the largest naval battles of the 17th century. It also highlighted the ongoing struggle between Protestant and Catholic powers in Europe, as Sweden was a Protestant power and Denmark was a Catholic power. Overall, the Dano-Swedish War of 1658 was a significant event in European history, with far-reaching consequences for both Denmark and Sweden, as well as the broader geopolitical landscape of the continent.